Happy 24th of May.
I feel like I'm getting a lot of grief. Here's the deal. Alphinius came in with an empty coffee mug, and he's like, why? I need more coffee. And I was like, well, I have a full coffee mug, so I will give you some of my coffee.
A coffee trade-off?
Yeah, and then you're giving me all this grief.
I'm not giving you grief.
And yet I'm sharing my life nectar with you.
Life nectar. Delicious. I should put some scotch in there.
So
thank you, dear. You're marvelous.
It's flavored. It's some kind of flavored coffee. So
delicious.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so Cameron Mendy, you know this, of course.
Yes.
Ms. Goo and I are leaving next week
for Hawaii
on an adventure,
which is good.
Yes,
I'm glad.
But for everyone in the Gooey universe,
yes,
we are going to the Blue Shine Archipelago.
Because
I wish to wreak some havoc
on the people who kidnapped you.
Who kidnapped me in the past.
Okay, that makes sense.
And apparently there is a treasure.
Did we ever discover who those people were?
No.
Oh, okay.
And there is apparently a treasure, Cameron Mendy, that if Ms. Goo and I are able to discover it, we are going to share said treasure with the Gooey people. Yes, which means people have a chance to win things, Cameron Mendy.
Okay, so tell me about the treasure.
I don't know what's all in it. I just know there is a treasure.
Is it a treasure that happens to be full of gooey loot?
It could be full of gooey loot.
So
yes,
let me see if I understand this correctly. You're going to Hawaii.
Going to the Blue Shine Archipelago.
I'm sorry. The Blue Shine Archipelago.
Yes.
And somewhere hidden on this island is a treasure chest, most likely.
Now listen, this is for sure on whatever island we can find it on. We're gonna have to travel to a few islands. So in fact, Father Jiki,
I have a fun prop you can take
Father
with you.
Jiki has offered to assist us a little bit.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Please, anyone who wants to be part of this shenanigan, contact him because I don't want it. I'll facilitate the prizes at the end. So yeah, I love
Fun
this.
shall be had.
I love this. Okay.
Yes,
I'm very excited.
We are excited to see what happens. So we are going to we're going to put out some clues and interesting things, and we'll do our best. We'll put it up in the Facebook and try to do it in the Discord too, right?
Naturally,
even though the Discord isn't so good for doing that because things have to get pinned and all this stuff, and people don't find the pins, and people complain to me, I can't find this thing, and I'm like, I can't find it either. So. Anyway,
sounds like a lot of fun.
So anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think so.
I think we're going to have a great time, and it is Ms. Goo, as you all know, Ms. Goo and I's 40th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
That's something, huh, Cameron?
Yeah, I'm very proud of you too.
Cheers to you, Ms. Goo.
Yes. I'm emotionally invested in your relationship. I don't know if you know this.
I know. Well, of course you are, dear. You are my goddaughter.
Yeah. So
in real life, not just in the world of Zyathé.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. Is there a relationship between Mira Mendy?
I don't know that it's been established or written.
Goo?
I don't know that it's been established or written in any of the materials.
It could be okay if Mira Mendy was Alphinius Goo and Ms. Goo's goddaughter. That would be okay.
Maybe. I mean, that would mean that you're affiliated with the Hatters Association.
No, it would mean we are estranged.
Oh, okay. I mean, you'd have to, because my whole family has been like involved in this Hatters Association for like a number of years.
I know this.
Anyway,
except for your father. Your father stands strong with me.
No, I'm talking about in the books. Like my father. Part of the Hatters thing, like the whole family.
Is not part of the
Jalel
Hatters.
Is not my father.
Oh,
in Darkenhaven or in anywhere. Yeah,
yes, your whole family is a bunch of wastrels.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have a blue brother who's a Garoon.
That's
adopted.
True.
Yeah,
adopted into the family.
Yeah, we have a green because Becky's portrait is like
she's a good elf.
Yeah. So anyway,
we never did Kelly.
No, we should though.
We should do Kelly. We should do Chris.
Yeah, we should. I totally agree with this.
I have to figure that out. Anyway, I hope we're not boring the hell out of the
chat. I know.
Chat.
We got to get started.
We started off with probably a nice group, and now it's dwindled down to like 3. No, the hardcore.
You've only grown in viewers.
So, can I ask a question of the chat? Yeah. I really have to understand this, Cameron Mendy.
Yeah.
I feel like we grow in viewers whenever we're doing stupid stuff.
Yes. But also, it's just part like as it happens, just naturally.
I guess that's true. People come in.
Then yes, so everyone knows the first 5 minutes are garbage. So they're like, I don't need to hop on right away.
I can miss the first 5 minutes and nothing.
And then some people like only join us after the social media is done. So people know, I think, at what points they want to join us for the stuff. Yeah,
that makes sense. Makes sense. Although I wouldn't. The problem is, I like sharing the social media. I think people like it. In fact, I'd love to have the chat tell us. I think that I think it's a good start
because
you miss things.
Yeah. I almost missed this. Look at this. This did not show up in my Facebook feed at all, except when I was scrolling
I thought I tagged you even. I might not have. Maybe.
Well, sometimes I'm not. I don't.
Listen,
sometimes
I'm gonna no. This
I get crazy notifications. Sometimes I don't see everything.
No, Cameron Mandy, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
What?
Facebook messes around with this. This is all about their algorithm figuring out ways to try to extract more money out of people, right? Which really bothers me, because look, just let's ponder Alan John Wilkinson just here for a moment.
Yes.
This is magnificent.
Yes.
He spent time and effort and creativity and put smiles on people's faces, right? Yes. And yet something like this could very well be throttled because the perception of Facebook's algorithm is he's trying to perhaps promote something or sell something. Do you see it?
I know.
And I see this all the time, and it makes me want to just puke all over because Facebook, that is.
Puke all over
Facebook because it's so wrong. Because they should be rewarding this kind of effort, these kinds of things. They should be rewarding people who do that because this is funny. People liked it. People commented on it. Even still, I believe they throttled it. It's very bothersome. I mean, I would not, I think I'm pretty good, Mark. Now I can't argue. Mark Zuckerberg is super, super rich, and Facebook is worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. But I still think they would do better if they were a little less dollar focused and a little more human focused.
Well, the young folks are not on Facebook anymore.
They're abandoning.
So, I'm just saying, we'll see what happens here in the next 10 years.
Well, and of course, there's going to be all kinds of weird things that get adjusted and all of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And AI, as it becomes more and more pervasive and more intelligent and all of that stuff. And AI is really the wrong term. It's not AI yet. And frankly, I believe that really, as we talked about in the past, and the Terminator is right. That really, for it to be true AI, it needs to be self-aware. That's what I think. I think it has to have self-awareness.
We're going places here.
Ooh, I bet
controversy.
I bet the chat.
See, if we're going to talk about this stuff, we need to promote it because that's how you get
like that.
They like the controversy. Yeah,
well, that's true.
We're going to go there.
Could be clickbaity.
We could just be like Facebook rant. Yeah.
Facebook hates Gooey.
Yeah.
Find out the proof.
Yeah. So Rick says that Blue Sky, it's the geek place to be. I need to look into Blue Sky.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard Blue Sky is very, very interesting. So I don't know. It's hard because you build up such a following, right? And then you want to abandon all these people.
It's hard to be in multiple places. So it's already hard for us just to maintain our Facebook and our Discord. Yes. And so then if we add in Blue Sky, then it's and you'd want to keep that positive interaction and make sure people feel seen and taken care of. And it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting thing, but we should just talk about
anyway. Marvelous. Alan. Go ahead.
Mandy's hideous.
Show yourself.
Mandy's hideous swearing. It's a spell. First level enchantment. Casting time 1 action. Range 30 feet. You guys all know this. Concentration up to 1 minute. A creature of your choice that can speak and knows at least one verbal language becomes aggravated at everything nearby. Target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or use up their action each turn uttering swears at the subject of their sudden ire. The higher the degree they fail to save, the higher the chance the target will use swears they wouldn't normally and or utter a swear they didn't previously know. And also,
what's in elves? I hate elves. The whole party's elves.
Bonus actions and reactions are unaffected. By the end of each of their turns, the target may repeat the save, ending the effect on a success. If they fail, the DM may use the result of this new fail to measure the degree of swearing or keep using the results of the original fail, whichever they deem to be funnier.
Now listen, this is important.
Yes.
You need to reach out to Alan because when we do Magicka 2, we are going to do a submission. Right? Now Magicka 2 will be primarily focused on Corruptica. It will be Corruptica. Mm-hmm. So, but there will be other spells that
Who's to say that swearing isn't Corruptica?
Oh, so now we are saying that Miera Mandy is actually corrupted.
I didn't say
a servant of the four lords.
Okay, I've changed my mind. Never mind.
Yes, you heard it here first, here on Goo Morning
special spells.
Anyway, so we need to, and there's some wonderful people have been helping us in the Discord, finding little things that we need to fix, and it's just been, and so we have a lot of work to do to get some stuff out. But first and foremost, I do think that it's pretty exciting to have folks engaged like that and helping, right, to make our stuff better. I mean, what a wonderful thing. Anyway,
diversity of ideas.
Alan, magnificent.
Yes.
Magnificent. I'm sorry Facebook kind of crapped on it a little bit.
So
this, however, did not get crapped on.
It's really cute. Okay,
It's adorable.
So it's a giant mimic treasure chest. And then I asked Paul like what was inside, and he said that it's hollowed out and you could actually like go inside. Oh my goodness.
I would be much better. You should just give me the button.
I finished I finished talking, so now I don't have anything to say.
No, it's a magnificent, massive mimic outside of the Emerald Dragon Tavern in Austin, Texas. Yes, I believe that is correct. Austin's wonderful, by the way. If you've never been, that's a wonderful little town to little village to visit. It's not little at all. It's a big city. But it has wonderful, wonderful restaurants and just a marvelous nightlife. And it's just a really fun place. I have a couple friends who abide there and have visited a number of times.
Nice.
So, but yes, this is very cool. And now I have a place that I want to visit in Austin, Texas, called the Emerald Dragon Tavern. Yes,
naturally, I spent all my time at the tavern looking for side quests.
Well,
where's their bulletin board?
I do think I promise you, I want to do this, Cameramandy, and I really do want to do this. If Gooey Cube achieves success, and we are achieving some success right already, but I'm talking about financial success, which we have not really achieved yet. But if it achieves it, I really do want to open a little restaurant tavern where it's all about game, not a coffee shop.
You were crazy.
No, I really want to. I think it'd be magnificent.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think it'd be fun. And I think it'd be a great place to be. I would have to have a manager. I'm too old to run something like that. But I'd have to have some people who manage it and take care of it.
I mean,
I think I mean, seriously, cameramen, themed, marvelous things going on.
I feel that our Colorado Springs market right now is not.
They would love it. There are gamers all over this town.
I know, but we already have other places.
We have Dungeons and Javas, which is magnificent, and it's coffee and deliciousness and all that stuff. I'm talking about beer, Cameramandy.
Okay.
Craft cocktails.
There is actually a place.
Where?
It's further south in Colorado Springs.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just saying that I think we need to do some market research before we get into the restaurant game. Please.
I'm not afraid.
Okay, I know. That's how we ended up with Gooey Cube.
That's how we ended up.
Which is a joy. Don't get me wrong, folks. It is a joy. It is a joy. And I love it.
No, it's just a magnificent.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm speaking the truth, Cameraman. It's one of the most fun things I've ever done in my entire career. In fact, it probably is the most fun thing.
It is the single most fun thing. I totally agree. 100%.
It just needs to make enough
money.
To pay the bills.
So anyway.
And I appreciate everybody who's watching this thing has bought our stuff just to help us.
I know.
Some of them haven't even opened things.
They're literally the best.
I know it. You all are marvelous. Thank you for helping this
David says,
dream.
Be not afraid. But Girth Finn says, sounds like a good plan, cameraman, to actually do some market research. Yeah. I like this. If what someone should do, so David says gamer tavern. So if there was like a trade, like a huge conglomerate of gamer taverns that were just high quality, dungeon-esque places you could go sit and have a beer, like a tavern like that would be awesome.
Yes. So. And I think that it wouldn't have to be just TTRPGs, right? And we can't, obviously you wouldn't be able to have people come in and just dominate a table for 4 or 5 hours. So you'd have to figure out how that would work. There might have to be some private rooms for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then a gathering area in the front. And I think you could do actual games for the whole thing, a lot kind of like playing trivia and stuff. I actually think there's a lot of ways it could be a really fun place to go on a regular basis. Anyway, but it's a long ways away.
That's called a blue sky dream.
It's a blue sky dream. But this is fantastic. I thought this was, again, this is our world, right? You look around our world and you find these places, and Kevin put this up.
Yeah, so this is a little place in Utah.
Yes.
And I read the description because all these come with great like flavor text. And these are like sand that have like basically crystallized into these shapes over the course of many years. Yeah. So, yes, it is very cool.
Yeah.
So very fantasy-esque.
All right, what else you got?
Okay. I have another really good. This one is from Chris. This one is a ruin type setting. I love these real world things that show like that you could get.
I did not see this one.
Oh, really?
I don't believe I commented. So May 22nd, I do not believe I saw this.
I do think that a really fun adventure would be like in a sand dune.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, the Desert of Desolation, which is one of the classics, the absolute classics that was ever created, right? And our marvelous Nama Stacy just did sort of sand duny,
Mhm.
hot area kind of thing too, which is very cool. I have
Mhm.
it sitting literally right next to my bed. And but but because it's less common,
Yeah.
right? And the Desert of Desolation really was very strong in Egyptian inspiration by Egyptian mythology and all of that stuff. And so you really did get a feeling
Kiki's
kind
like,
of.
it's literally called Sands of Fate.
It is called Sense of Fate.
Sands of Fate. Did you say
Yes.
Sands of Fate?
No, but I knew that.
Okay, yes. I know you did. I thought it was a funny comment.
What was the comment that I made?
No, Geeky's comment was funny.
What did Geeky say?
It's called Sands of Fate.
Oh, thank you.
Because
Geeky.
I said it sand. Okay, anyway.
Oh, so you messed it up and Geeky was fixing you.
So
anyway,
it doesn't
Mama
matter.
Stacy did a great job with
funny.
this. She had help with a number of people, but it was wonderful, right?
Yeah, it's kind of.
Sorry, what?
Nothing. Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Camera Mendy.
I'm just saying, I do agree that it's kind of like Mad Max-esque with like style of art, with the location, and but I think that even like transferring this into like a D&D, like more fantasy like setting in terms of like you're walking around with your armor, you have your fighter there.
There is miserable. A reason that people from the Middle East do not fight in metal.
Yeah. So
there's great wisdom in that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm just saying it's a cool setting. I think it'd be fun.
And Chris has been making some great posts, and I really appreciate his efforts to provide us with wonderful creative inspirations. I mean, you look at this and you think there's an adventure right there, right in front of you, right there, right?
Here's another great piece of inspiration.
You show yourself and read it.
I want to play a tabletop RPG where my 6 stats are gumption, chutzpah, moxie, childlike wonder, the cut of my jib. What does that even mean? And a certain je ne sais quoi. But what is the cut of my jib? That is my question.
Well,
what does that expression mean?
The cut of my jib refers to the sail on a ship, right? And I believe that, honestly, truthfully, I've not heard that term other than that as it applies to sailing. So maybe the chat can help us with what they think the cut of my jib.
What is the cut of my jib
really means?
Yeah, but hopefully it's not something not dirty.
It's probably really dirty.
Oh, fashion sense.
Oh, the cut of my jib. That makes sense, right? I get it.
Your style, appearance.
Your style, yes, that makes sense.
Adam says it is in the method of speaking, but I think he is wrong because 3 other people said something about style. So
is that which Adam is that?
My Adam.
Oh, it's your Adam?
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting it wrong, Adam.
I would never call another person out on the stream. Okay. You're wrong. Okay.
Adam. Dude, seriously now.
I'm going to put this up on our social media.
It has been a while since this old man took a peek at chapters 2 and 3. And of course, back in the day, this was our marvelous Vera. I've told her story before where she was an unemployed artist and was really having a hard time making money, and we gave her a break, and she did all this wonderful work for us and ended up getting this wonderful job with the studio because of her work with us. And we've done that a number of times. But she did the Butcher Clan. And what a marvelous, just amazing group of hillbillies.
Seeing all 5 of these together is just chef's kiss.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
She did such a good job.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that is definitely, you can hear the banjo music. Oh, cameraman, don't get dirty, cameraman.
What?
No, never mind. Just continue on, cameraman.
Okay.
Anyway, Joey, thank you. Thank you for telling all the stuff that we've been that's been going on at your table. We've been enjoying it. Hearing.
I'm very interested in this comment. Ray in DC says there was in fact metal armor in the ancient Middle East. So I'd be interested for that to be expanded upon.
I believe that there is, but I do also, I've read some things, and it would be interesting to see what the chat thinks of this, because this is an interesting thing. I have read that one of the reasons that the England, for lack of a better term, but it was all of them, right? The Crusades, if you will, was not as successful as they should have been because they were technologically advanced. But all of these knights wore this metal armor. They were used to fighting, and you really couldn't don it. So you had to fight in other ways, and they were not as practiced. And so they kind of got whooped up a little bit when they started getting into the heat, right? And so this is what I understand from some of my reading. that the Crusades, as they were going from more cooler climes, as they began to push more and more into the deserty realms, it got hotter and hotter and hotter and more difficult to continue the Crusades, as it were. Right?
Yes. Okay.
So,
very interesting.
let's see what the chat has to say about that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anyway, the butchers. Long live the butchers.
Here's a person in armor. I should have shown this. This is a piece of Larry Elmore art.
Yes.
This would have been perfect to show when we were talking about the Crusaders. But anyway, I just thought it was beautiful.
The Paladin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, you're talking about one of the great classic artists of all time, right? Just Larry is a legend, beyond legend, and his works grace so many covers, and not just D&D covers, but book covers and posters, and just artwork on people's walls, and I see these every once in a while when people put them up, and some of them remind me of my youth, right? I get a flash of my being a kid.
It's like a sensory memory.
Yeah, it is, right? It is. It's very much so. Anyway, wonderful, wonderful piece of work. Thank you, Josh, for putting that up.
Yeah.
What else you got to come, Mindy?
We're almost through.
Have you
Jim.
lost people in the chat?
No, we only gained people.
Aha! Very good. So social media isn't bad.
Oh, but we're getting back to, we have like some good comments on, people have come through with their long typed comments on the Crusade. So I will read those.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Well, let's do it right now before we.
Well, let me just do Jim really quickly. So Jim has won our signed proof copy of
the proof. There was like 2 proof copies, right? And this is one of them.
Yeah. So anyway, there it is. So it does exist. We just are trying to get it printed.
It's not trying to get it printed. We're trying to get it printed and not go bankrupt printing it.
Naturally, yes.
So, but now the things have changed again. You know this, right?
No.
We went. Oh yes, the tariffs on China are now down to 30%, where they were like double. I mean, the madness of it is so hard, and so all this stuff delays you, right? Because you're trying to make a decision, you're trying to make the best decision we can possibly make, so that we don't just get destroyed. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, Luke even called me on the phone. What a dear man. And he said, Kim, if you need a little help, I'll help. I mean, and what he's saying is, if you don't need to pay me as much, and we're not doing that. But what a marvelous, what a dear person to do that, right? Because there's so many people out there that just want to get theirs, right? And my experience with him has been nothing but just generosity and kindness, and he and Bushra want to be on the game show. So make sure we get that done. I also talked to Laura about possibly being on Goo Morning Zyathé.
Laura Thompson?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so she's going to let us know about her timing. Perhaps she can do it from here. Perhaps she can do it from there. But sometime maybe over the summer.
I'd love to have Laura back.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yes, it'd be wonderful. She was great the first time.
Okay. So let's go back to the Crusades.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure that I read these great comments.
See, this is the stuff I love, because there are so many well-read, learned people in our group.
I know. And not one person can know everything, but a whole bunch of people can know a whole lot.
Yes, it also spawns creativity, right? All of this stuff, which is why I just love the Gooey people. And I think that's why Gooey people are attracted. I think that's why we come together, because we share this passion for gaming, for creativity. I mean, look at what look at what Geeky and Rob are doing, right? I mean, wonderful, right? And you see other people who are making things, right? Harry's Magnificent Minis, all of the different, and there's so many that artists, right? Adrian puts up stuff, of course, Dear Chet, right? All the stuff we got to, I have an idea for another artwork I want Chet to do for us. I want to talk to you about that.
Okay, hold, and let's actually do the Crusades. Okay.
Put yourself on. So I'll drink my coffee and scratch in places that I shouldn't.
So this is from...
Wait, you just messed up my good joke. I said, I'll drink my coffee and scratch in places I should not scratch in public. I thought that was hilarious, and you just stepped all over it, cameraman. You got that look.
I think arguably the Middle East was more technologically advanced, but more lightly armored forces, as opposed to European tendency towards heavy stock attacks with heavy cavalry. So basically the Middle East had already created or refined armor to better suit
the heat,
the temperament. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
And then Gerthen says, I thought the biggest issue for the Crusades were the long supply lines.
That was also that is absolutely correct. I read that specifically. It was just, they were literally running their supply lines to the nth degree, and in any military, as everybody says, survives on its stomach, right?
Mm.
This is the idea, right? You got to be able to feed your soldiers or they can't keep fighting, right? And the further and further and further they get away and farther away, the more, remember, you have to protect your supply lines because the bad guys don't just wait for you in the front, right? They sneak around the back. Well, I don't think the bad guys, the good guys, the people you are
Objectively,
against.
everybody thinks that they're a good guy.
Everybody thinks they're a good guy, right? So the opponent comes around the backside and takes your supplies, which is smart.
Mhm.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to wait for you to stand there in the front and come on and get me. I'm going to try to circle around. And this is called flanking, Cameramandy.
I've never heard the term.
Man, Cameramandy. You've never heard the term flanking?
No, of course I have. I play D&D.
Okay, I was just about to make. That's what I was just about to say.
That was
have
called
you ever flanked
sarcasm.
anyone in Dungeons and Dragons, Cameramandy?
Have you ever heard of okay, hold on. The Crusades were very successful to start with. It was later years when the pushback kicked them out. The armored cavalry contributed both success at the beginning and failure later. But armor and technology was not the deciding factor in losing the Crusades. That was from Harry.
Harry, I agree with that. Not the deciding. It was one of the factors. Because I'm actually relatively certain that it was not just supply lines as well. I mean, war fatigue, right, begins to, this thing went on for quite a while. More and more soldiers dying. People come home. People get upset. The treasury from the king is getting bled. All of this stuff, and the church's treasury is getting bled. And finally, they're like, "This is stupid.
I don't know.
Let's go home and drink mead."
I don't know. I do not know what at what point Purdy Nerdy put this in the chat. I do not know what this is a reference to, but Purdy Nerdy says, "I love how funny he thinks he is sometimes." LOL.
That was in reference to my comment when I said you stepped on my incredibly funny joke. Which clearly wasn't that funny.
That's so funny. Okay, that comment was funny. Okay.
Whatever, Purdy Nerdy.
Okay, so this is from Rick. Several reasons why the Crusades struggled. One, Saladin had the advantage of the tribes in the area. They did hit and run attacks. Saladin knew where the food and watering oases were. The Crusaders had few friends to resupply them. And 3, the Masons helped the forces of Saladin in Jerusalem versus the Crusaders.
Yes.
So, hey, who thought they'd be tuning in and getting a full history lesson from all these wonderful, smart people?
Yeah, and the Masons thing is very interesting. When you go back and look at the Masonic order and what its history was and all of that stuff. I mean, it's very, very interesting. And for you conspiratorial people out there, yes, there's some conspiracy things as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. Okay, so I think we're almost through everything except one variant, or what's this one? This is something. Oh, we should not have this debate, but it was a good debate in the comments because we don't have time today because we talked about the Crusades.
Yes.
But how does everyone feel about having to pay to play? So if you're interested in people's perspectives on this, there's something like 60 something comments in this, and they're all very interesting.
Really, really good. And again, I don't know that there's a right answer. Right. Again, this
it's
is
all someone's perspective.
And freedom to be able to do it. Oh, goodness gracious, cameraman.
Who is calling you? Who is calling you?
It doesn't matter. I will call him later.
Ah, my goodness. Calling you live. You didn't silence your phone.
I know that was a mistake. I will do that right now, cameraman.
That is a low budget production move.
Listen, we have lots of low budget production issues around
here. Okay. Anyway, all this to say, this is very, very interesting conversation if you're interested in reading people's perspectives.
So, but the thing is, here's the deal. Like I said, I don't think there's a right or wrong. I mean, if people want to compensate a game master and a game master wants to be compensated for their time, I think that's wonderful.
I think as long as you discuss it up front and everyone's on the same page.
Absolutely, right. And and then there's the other side of the coin where the game master supplies the house, supplies the miniatures, supplies all the books, supplies all the food, supplies all the drinks and all of that stuff, right? That's the other side of the coin where the game master is just paying everything. And I think it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I would never charge for my home group, right?
Right.
But there's certain instances where we have charged, right? We're doing a special premium game and we're trying to support the Kickstarter and all of that stuff. And I'm doing it with Luke and all of that. And we do charge for that.
Yeah.
Right. So I think there's no right or wrong answer, but I thought the debate was wonderful and excellent. I thought there were very cogent comments. And also, again, Cameramandy, you marvelous gooey people, you marvelous, wonderful, gooey people. Nobody was mean.
No. Why would you be mean?
Because people do that crap. The stupidest,
internet.
most innocuous little comments turn into like these horrific Facebook.
You should see the Disney groups. The Disney groups are mean. the Disney groups.
I'm telling you, Donald is better than Mickey.
No. It's someone just asks an innocent question because unlike everybody else in the group, like they're planning their first vacation or something like that. And they don't have a PhD in Disney like myself. And people are so brutal, like, oh, why are you so stupid? And it's just like, oh my God, why are you so mean? Just answer the question.
Especially in a Disney group.
I'm just saying.
You'd expect that to be like a bunch of little sweeties. Little Tinkerbells.
They're cruel. Okay. We're getting off track.
It's all Captain Hooks.
Okay. This is very important.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Also, my foot is falling asleep.
What?
Yes. Mark. I know. Mark is currently on a cruise.
So Mark doesn't even get to see this right now?
No, he'll catch up on it later.
He's standing up, leaning over, trying to sit into her microphone, got her thing in her ear, and she's like stomping her foot.
I know, my foot is very asleep right now.
Cameraman.
Here. Okay. But yeah, Mark is amazing. Mark does a lot of the behind the scenes work. He doesn't get nearly the credit that he deserves for all the spreadsheets he's created, everything he's
amazing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'll just tell you a story. One time I was trying to figure out something not even related to games. It was like, we're trying to catalog characters inside these books. So we don't, lap portraits and stuff like that. And I call Mark and I'm trying to figure out this Google spreadsheet thing. And he stays on the phone with me for over an hour while he's working, mind you. I probably shouldn't say this on live, but anyway.
Because Mark is a very diligent worker.
Yeah.
And certainly people deserve breaks at work.
Yes, agreed.
We allow that here.
Well,
Mandy.
I'm just kidding. Also, I know that my camera flickers.
Just take a moment for a second while your camera's flickering. This is very important.
What?
We do have a wonderful, flexible work thing going on here. Yes. Don't make everybody in the chat think I'm some kind of a...
You're not.
Okay.
There. I said it under duress. No, just kidding.
Cameraman.
I've been here for...
I'm pushing the button that puts your foot to sleep.
I have been here for 15 years. And if I did not love the work that I was doing, that would not be the case.
Good God, cameraman. Did you have a clot?
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, all this to say, Mark, amazing. We love you.
Mark, do you know how to deal with blood clots that put your left leg to sleep?
I hope I don't have a blood clot. Okay.
Maybe we need to get you a different chair.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't happen that often. Okay.
All right.
Okay, listen. I have one last thing.
All right.
Okay, so this is from James Jackson, who does Tabletop Misfits. And
was also Nikolai Dostroff. Hold it for 1 second. Is it playing? Because I don't want to talk.
I don't know that the music's playing. I think it might just be the... Well, you guys let me know if the music...
Can you all hear it?
So anyway, I'm just trying to get the actual thing to play. So I was just trying to show the actual video.
Got it. Anyway, James, obviously in the Tabletop Misfits, been a part of our Gooey thing for such a long time. We love them. And James played Nikolai Dostroff, where Michelle played the queen of Vanzentia. And it was magnificent. And they always do a fun job. Fun little stream to watch.
Yes. Okay, so this is important for today because this is streaming today at in an hour. So on Tabletop Misfits. So basically, they are doing a charity one-shot, and all of the money raised goes to the Critical Role Foundation. And they are playing, it's a 3-hour PG-rated romp in which 4 first-year heroes, Academy students, under the slightly frazzled eye of Professor Silverleaf, track down goblins who've been looting the local village. So I read that, obviously, not very well. I'm sorry, guys, my foot hurts. But yes, anyway, if you are free this afternoon, Tabletop Misfits, they do a wonderful job. It's twitch.tv/Tabletop Misfits. And you should definitely check out this really cool stream that they're doing and donate to the Critical Role Foundation. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for your tour?
Yes, unless there's some questions from the chat or any thoughts before we begin.
I don't think so. Now, I do have one thing, which was we were going to announce the winner of the
naming contest.
However, we have contacted the winner. So you will know you are not the winner because you have not been contacted. Yes. So the winner has been contacted and they will be appearing on our stream next week. So we will do an official announcement next week with the name and who the winner is.
Who the winner's on, and we'll do the layout and all that stuff. Yeah. I still want to do it, cameraman. I want to give some of these runner-ups just covers or something. So we have to talk about
Okay, sounds good.
Everybody put in. I mean, there's so many good.
Oh, we're gonna read. I'm gonna go through, and on the stream next week, we'll read some of our
top choices.
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, even the problem is there were so many good ones. I mean, really good ones, and funny ones, and just people. Again, the creative Gooey people, amazing.
Agreed.
Just amazing.
Cheers. So, congrats to the unnamed winner, says Patrick. So
I haven't talked to Patrick in a while. I hope he's doing okay.
He says he's writing some kind of code for something, but I don't know. Like when I hear code, I think like Adam, because Adam writes code, but he works for a law office. So
he's a legal guy.
So I wonder if it's a legal code.
A barrister.
Nice. Okay, are we ready to talk about the environs?
Yes. So
okay.
you know, last week, of course, we talked about a number of things and stuff like that. We'll do a little reprise of that to catch people up if they didn't get to see it. The picture here, the image here, is the Azure Enthronea, which is it's not a sky tree. It's got some similarities, but it's not a sky tree. It is a ancient and magical growing tree that is inside Ethel. We're going to talk about Ethel a lot today. That's what I want to discuss that, and maybe even a little bit more next week. But Gyzaengaxx, right? And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about while we're doing this. Talk about campaigning. What, cameraman?
Nothing.
No, tell me.
Okay, David says, is Alfabio's secret love shack in the environment?
It's the love shack.
You know, the one that he stated when he was writing.
Yes, I know.
What was it? Ecstasy,
I can't remember. No, ecstasy and ethylene. Yes, that's right. let us just leave this for. Good God. How does this stuff happen? Anyway, all right. All right, we will continue. And Brad and Belinda don't get to come to Gen Con with us. I'm sad about that.
That was random.
I was thinking about Brad dressed up as Alfabio.
Aw, yeah, we're gonna miss Brad and Belinda.
Absolutely.
But we'll see him soon.
Anyway, the Environs of Gyzaengaxx is a campaign setting.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we've structured it, right? I think I've mentioned this a number of times, but I'm mentioning it, is really to empower the game master to take it and make it their own. We have lots of interesting encounters, locations, creatures, strange mysteries, all of that stuff, all packed into this massive box. These wonderful. I'm getting up there on the count of the handouts, cameraman. We are definitely overdoing it compared to what we promised in the Kickstarter, which I'm very happy about. Anyway, so it looks great. I mean, it looks so good.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
And of course, Ethholm it is part of that. So let's go to the next slide. So as we begin to ponder, right, the environs, right, first of all, I want to make sure everyone knows it is on East Verdestia, right, on the western side of East Verdestia, which is down there where you see, you know, is sort of in the middle of the screen. Literally, if you went up from the Gooey Cube up to where those little stars are up there in that open area to the left of the Blue Mountain Range, you're pretty much in the vicinity, which you can go to the next slide to do this.
There's shock and outrage from the chat about you overdoing it. Sarcastically.
I'm sure it's partly it's the one of the reasons why we're not quite as financially successful as we should be. But anyway, and someday, cameraman, we got to talk about these Fair Shade Isles, by the way, the unremembered isles, the Fair Shade Isles. We have never really touched significantly on them, only a little bit in the East Verdestia book, and I think they've got tremendous potential. Again, there's so many places with tremendous potential. Anyway, the Queendom of Vanzentia, where we just spoke about Michelle doing the cosplay of her. The Queendom of Vanzentia is right here, and the sovereignty stretches to the north, all up there where Black Bottom Bog is up there, and the all of that stuff. But the place that we are most focused on is the Gluvoik Fiefdom. And the Gluvoik Fiefdom is where Gyzaengaxx is located, and you can go to the next one from this one, cameraman. And of course, the territory in particular that we are encompassing within this first portion of the environs of Gyzaengaxx is called the Barrowlands. And the Barrowlands is really, there's the Western Barrows and the Eastern Barrows. And the Eastern Barrows also stretches into the mountains where you have Mythendale. And so there's some really wonderful things going on here, and we're excited to bring it all to the table. All right, let's go on, Kim. So the Western Barrowlands is where we began our conversation. We started just talking about it last week as an overview and kind of what it looks like. But the maps that we've been having Edvard draw for us are just, I mean, cameraman, you got to admit, I mean, they are just this is a very open and with not a lot going on, right? In terms of forests and mountains and all of that stuff. And it's still, when you zoom in on these maps and you look at them, you're like, wow. So we're going to begin sort of the second part of this walkthrough with one of the key areas, key places in the Western Barrowlands, because it will typically, for most campaigns, it will be the beginning. And there's other places, by the way, in the Environs area, in the Barrowlands, where you could certainly begin a tale. Blun, of course, is in the Eastern Barrowlands, and we'll talk about that in a couple of episodes. But Ethholm really is the place, and of course, it's our nod to some things that Gary did a long time ago. It is our nod to stuff that was special to Luke. It is our nod to some amazing legends of the game that created things, and homage of all of that sort of mashed up, rehashed, redone, and made into something very special. And so Ethholm is there. So again, cameraman, you zoom in on this map and you're like, holy moly, how does he do that? Right? Make that bigger. Can you make that bigger? Yes, make that bigger for a second.
This one?
Yeah, make that bigger. I mean, he does this. This is all hand drawn. Now, in fairness, not every tree is hand drawn. He'll take a tree that he drew before and paste it in, right? He won't draw every tree again and again and again. But I mean, it's just, the detail is just magnificent and fun, right? Really, really fun what he does. So I'm so proud to work with Edvard, and we've been working with him for many years, and I plan to continue on with that. He had a little family situation come up, so we've been keeping a good thought for him, but everything seems to be getting better at this point, so we are happy about that. So Ethholm Village, you can see it right here. This is the feel of it, right? The idea of creating sort of this feel of this hamlet, and we, of course, not just have the Environs, but we also have the Ethholm supplement that is being done as part of the Kickstarter, and providing that and really giving you a nice little foundation for the village. And so Ethholm Village has got a little keep. And now it's interesting because it's really more of a town. Okay, so it's really more, it's large enough. It's always been called the village of Ethholm, but it's really gotten big enough that it should certainly be at least a small town. And almost no small towns or villages have any kind of significant keep. They might have a small tower, maybe a little strong house or something like that. But to actually have a keep is relatively unusual. And this goes to this is sort of the existence of Ethholm in the first place, with the arrival of Gyzaengaxx some 20 annums in the past, other legends of adventuring in the world of Zyathé coming here, the founding of the Adventurers College, and a number of other things that happened that sort of changed the complexion over the last couple of decades of this little tiny sleepy village. And of course, all of that goes to the greater mystery, which is expounded significantly upon in the Tomb of Gyzaengaxx, and will be expounded further upon that in the sequel, which hopefully some here towards the end of the year, after we get our stuff shipping, we will do the second Gyzaengaxx thing, which we are very excited about. So anyway, but again, this is Benjo did this artwork for us, and I mean, cameraman, you just look at it, you're like, this is incredible, right? It's just beautiful, and you feel it, and you're looking at it, you're like, I want to go there, right? Yeah. So this is Ethholm.
It's like a little so this building is here.
Yes, right above the
I'm like pointing like as if anyone could tell what I'm saying. Yes, but yeah, next to the statue.
Yeah, to the left of the statue, you can see it, right? And then there is Ethholm Keep. And it is overseen by Bryphus, the warrior, and Bryphus is second in command to Rune, who is the mayor of this little hamlet. Both of them being good friends of Gyzaengaxx, good friends of the family, and actually quite popular. Rune being a very, very good leader. But there is a lot of things going on. Nefarious stuff happening and problems, and these will be expounded upon even further as we build out the Gyzaengaxx lore, which we plan to do this for a number of years with Luke, and really make this something very, very special. We're going to continue to involve our community. We're going to continue to bring our wonderful friends' tales to the tale itself and add it to it, because everything is better because we are doing it this way, in my opinion. But anyway, it's marvelous artwork of the keep right here. And you, of course, can visit that when you get there. And then, of course, the centerpiece of, and by the way, I just want to point out, I didn't show the whole image, but if you look beyond, if you look to the right of the Greyhawk Inn and you look up there, that is the little hut, that is Raju's hut that is up there, the druid Raju. And that is what you are looking down from in the previous image that you saw, right? And so now you're looking down on the Greyhawk Inn. So if you go back, you can see the Greyhawk Inn sort of in the middle. Do you see it right there on the square? Can't remember. Go back to the picture instead. So if you go pretty much directly to the left of the keep and down just a little bit, right there, sort of in what appears to be the center square, you can see the Greyhawk Inn. And if you take that there is your Greyhawk Inn right there. And again, trying our best to really bring the feel of the place, that it's real, right? This is so important to immersion and all of that stuff. And the Greyhawk Inn, I mentioned this before, but I'll do it for folks who haven't heard the tale. The Greyhawk Inn is actually named for a big stuffed wyvern that hangs above the fireplace. It's the whole wyvern, by the way. It's the whole thing, and it hangs from the ceiling above the fireplace in the inn. And that inn is named the Greyhawk Inn, even though it's really a gray wyvern. It was a wyvern that came down, and that is the Greyhawk, and that is the name of the place. So, of course, now, as we speak about this, go ahead, cameraman, go to the next one. We are so beyond ourselves with how many legends of the game have lent characters to these tales. Of course, Rorondral, the bard, is Ed Greenwood's character, and one of many that are featured within this magnificent place. And Rorondral you will meet. In particular, there's a little episode that he wrote for this called A Trouble with Rats. And Patrick, writing is the wrong term. He has collaborated with us, and Patrick actually did the writing for this magnificent little adventure. And we are very excited about it, getting it finished and published, and getting that out to people. But Rorondral is a part of this tale, and we are pleased and proud to have him a part of it. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about characters. I firmly believe, and if you think about all literature and you think about movies and all of this stuff, characters make them. They make them interesting. They make them fun. They make them scary, right? Everybody knows little Chucky, right? Scary he was. And I mean, you think about the characters of movies that you've really loved and enjoyed, and how important the characters themselves are to it. And I believe in my games that the establishment and building of characters that interact with the players, that don't just kind of pop in and then disappear and you never see them again. They actually return, that things happen with those characters as time goes on. All of that stuff adds to the depth, breadth, and the feeling of reality when you're trying to make these wonderful games. And we are so pleased and proud and excited to present all the characters that are in here. So I'm just going to talk about a few of them. So the next one, cameraman, if you would. So Rolf Zanvich, who is Roll for a Sandwich, right? Rolf Zanvich is the proprietor of the Greyhawk Inn. And Rolf is actually a blood touched, and that's why he looks the way he does. And you will, your characters will be able to meet Rolf on a consistent basis, coming into the Greyhawk Inn and talking to Rolf and meeting that person and interacting with that person. And of course, Rolf is a wonderful source of rumor and story and tale. And of course, as you bring Rolf to life, Rolf becomes more important to the tale as you continue on. And again, you design this, right, as the game master, and your characters help design it by sort of what they get interested in and what they do, right, cameraman? Do you follow me? How am I doing? Am I doing okay? I'm not boring the chat.
I mean, I will say that this is the longest stretch of time since there has not been a single comment in the entire
chat. Are you being bored? If you're being bored, tell me.
I think they're just listening to you.
Okay.
That is how I am reading the quietness.
Okay, long as it's interesting.
Now things are coming in.
I just don't want to bore people.
How David says Z.
Oh, really? All right.
But
David.
other people are like, just listening. No, we're listening, joking.
All
Continue
right.
the storyline. No,
right.
not bored. Andy says, and he lets vagabond sages like Dan the Didactic use his rooms as offices.
He does indeed. Andy, I'm so proud of you. Andy, what I love about you, man, is Zyathé.
Yes. Well, he's run the Ghost Stone.
He's run the Ghost Stone.
A whole bunch. My foot is asleep again.
Cameraman, he's now standing up and leaning over. What cameraman? Anyway, yes. I cannot tell you this. As a game master, our goal is always to try to give you interesting and fun things that you enjoy reading, tales that you enjoy reading, but also room to move, to add and bring your own stuff to it, right? And again, to add in as the party goes. And for me, as I ponder the creation of the Environs, and it's a really wonderful campaign setting, and the bringing out of these characters is really something else. Well, anyway, Rolf is going to be great. What's the next one?
Also, just so you know, people are saying that they like to listen to this as like a podcast, that your voice is hypnotic. Paul wants more of Provenloft.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Anyway, so just letting you know. Okay.
All right.
Helen
Cook.
She sent me a friend request on Facebook like last week.
Dear
she is so sweet. I love her.
So this is Grandma. Excuse me. This is Helen's character, and goodness gracious, her character's name just popped out of my brain. Oh goodness gracious. Anyway, Helen is another marvelous legend of the game who is here in our world, and we are so proud. It was great to see her. We just saw her recently at GaryCon, and she's doing great, and we are so pleased to have her there. And she has a pottery shop. I remember Nellie Clayfoot. Got it just as you got it, but you had to look it up.
Okay.
Because what I said was the pottery. I said the pottery, and the pottery put in my mind clay. Right? Okay. And that's what got me there. So Nellie Clayfoot is a halfling, and she does pottery in the village of Ethel.
Okay.
But there is more to her than meets the eye.
Of course there is.
Of course. For many in the village of Ethel, right? Because many are former adventurers, former colleagues of Gyzaengaxx, right? And so this is the wonderment of Ethel, right? But it's also why there are spies and evildoers within the village, because there is so much going on in the environs involving the Genevian cabal and the ancient Ethernic conspiracy to take down the empire and the creation of the Nether Vortronix that abides there. And there are more than one Nether Vortronix in the world, and that creation of that Nether Vortronix, and those who are trying to find it and control it, and those who are trying to stop those from finding it and controlling it. And the interesting thing, the wonderful thing about Gyzaengaxx, the whole thing that's so wonderful about it is Geralt was charged to find it by the Queen. And as he progressed through his investigations, as things went forward, and he knew that there were bad guys trying to do it, he began to think no one should have this power. No one.
Oh, we said that in sync.
Yeah.
We're clearly on the same wavelength.
But stay with Skip.
Yeah.
So Wolf Willem, Skip Williams' character, is the headmaster at the college in Ethel. But the Adventurers College, again, the Adventurers College wasn't just created for altruistic measures, right?
Of course not.
The Adventurers College was created because
they wanted to farm more adventurers.
They had to farm more adventurers.
Yes.
Show yourself, cameraman. If you're going to put out this good stuff and say these things, you need to pop to yourself and go, yes.
Oh, I'm good.
Do it. No, just do it.
They all know my voice.
Just go, yes.
Yes.
Brilliant. So they're sending adventurers out into the area to try to find clues about this Nether Vortronix.
They don't care if they die. I mean, they're trying to train them up.
Yes,
they want
they're
them
trying
to be
to
good
train
enough.
them up. They don't want them
But
to die.
They're disposable.
They're like,
we'll just
like
train
the
more.
guys. What color was the shirts? Were they always gold shirts or red shirts in the Star Trek that were the crew that was dispensable?
The red.
It was the red.
Was it not the red?
I think it was red and gold. I think red.
Well,
and
I think
gold
they changed it at some point because I thought
the science officers.
I thought a red shirt was like I thought that's what
red
they
shirt
called
was
you.
security, right? Red shirt was all the security.
It's a red
guys
shirt. Yeah, red shirts died the most. Red shirt. Red. Okay, thank you. Thank you. If I had gotten that wrong, Adam would have divorced me. So he would have been like, no.
They always get killed. Poor Kirk, his crew is always getting killed. So we're sending out all these little adventurers out there to try to find clues as to where this nether vortex might lie. And this is the crux of the tomb of Gyzaengaxx, and will be more in the sequel as we go forward. And I do think it's a magnificent adventure. And I hope some in the chat have been able to read some of it already. Because I think it reads well. I think it's fun, and I've gotten some good feedback, which is nice to hear. But a lot of people don't read the digitals; they wait for the physicals. So, Alterios, the mage, is Errol Otis's character, and Errol, of course, marvelous legend of the game as well, and another person who plays an important part in the learnings and teachings and things that are going on in Ethholm. And again, another one that we are very, very proud to feature. What else you got to cover? This is the college. This is the Adventurers College in Ethholm. And Edvard did this one for us as well. And we've got that image in there as well that we have. What's wrong, cameraman? Did you spit on yourself?
I spilled coffee.
Right down your chest.
Oh my God.
All over your face. When it happens to me, this is very interesting. When you have a beard, cameraman, like this, right? When you have a beard and you dribble, it gets caught up in the beard, right?
Mine gets my hair catches like more food. Like Adam will just be like, "Oh, here."
I'm trying to remember what movie it was who they dabbed their face with their beard. And so there was a movie. Anyway, doesn't matter.
So people are asking, what did the runes say?
So
the same thing the fox says. What does the fox say?
So this is a fine question because Edvard just put those there. But I think they do. Cameraman, we need to take a note because people are going to ask. That question is absolutely going to get asked.
Oh, that's a valid question, Joe. Good work.
That question is absolutely going to get asked.
What do the runes say?
Yeah, and we need to make sure we cover that in the Ethholm supplement, which we are basically done with. So this means it's going to be a little ad.
Oh, the team's going to love Joe. I won't tell them. What do the runes
You'll blame me. You'll just say, Alphinius says we have to say what these runes say.
Yes. I said, what do the runes say?
So you won't blame Joe.
No. I'm never going to blame Joe for anything. He's perfect. Like literally, probably one of the most perfect people that I know. So, Joe. I'm
having a cup of Joe.
I spilled my cup of Joe.
All right.
Now, Paul did say, and I do like this, a beard is nature's napkin.
It's certainly a bib.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And of course, there are marvelous places and localities right outside of the village of Ethholm, which we're going to expand upon more next week because there's the hole in the ground. There's the Azurethonea, right? There is the ruins. There, and then of course Raju's hut, and there are a number of caves and all of that stuff. And all of these things allow you to run, especially lower level adventures.
This is nice.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another Edvard.
What a good mood. Edvard is so talented.
Dude, he's so good.
Okay, listen. Before we finish this.
Yes.
Hashtag Fox to be entered to win the current giveaway going on, of which we still have not decided what we are actually giving away.
Hashtag Fox. And plus, this could actually, what I'm thinking is, this might give them extra entries into the Great Blue Shine Archipelago adventure. Okay. So that might be what we do, because I think we're going to give away a good bunch of stuff.
We're going to give away a good prize.
No, one good prize, but I think we're going to give away some multiple prizes.
Multiple prizes.
So people get a chance. I think, Mandy, I'm excited about this. I haven't told you about it yet, other than telling you I was going to do it. I talked to Ms. Goo about it. I want to throw it at you and see what you think. And
I'm okay emotionally, guys. Because here's the thing, is Lawrence is here now, and he takes off most of the chaos. So I only have to handle this kind of chaos. So I just want you to know, it is all right. It is all right. It is all right.
But the thing is, cameraman, these things are fun, right?
I agree.
Fun for us,
they are fun. And I mean, I love when Jim posts his picture of his Gyzaengaxx. That makes me happy. That warms my heart.
Yes.
Anyway.
And that's special. Jim, make sure you take care of that one.
Yeah.
That one is special.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
so finish up with this image.
So this is the ruins that are outside of the village, and I should have shown the map. People have seen it before, but for this, I'll do it next week. I'll make sure we show the map so you can look at the various areas. And again, these are the things that you get to take and run with because we just mentioned them, right?
Yeah.
And what I love about a campaign setting, a good campaign setting, right, is it gives me options to be able to bring my creativity, but I don't have to do everything.
Yep.
Right? I can, because I am definitely a world builder. I think almost every game master I know is a world builder. I think many players participate in world building because they want to, right? And so if you can give a good foundation and some walls, right? And then let them add other walls, add accoutrements, right? All of that stuff, it makes it more fun for everyone.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, that's our show.
That's our show for today.
So next week, we will all be on vacation. You're going to be in Hawaii.
I will not be on vacation, Ms. Goo and I are going to the Blue
Oh,
Shine
I'm sorry. Yes.
Archipelago,
Apologies.
where we are seeking to discover the people who kidnapped me. Ms. Goo wants some revenge.
That makes sense.
She wants some payback.
Yes.
Yes. And we are supposedly looking for a treasure. And she was pretty good, you got to admit. When we went out there,
my gosh.
she was pretty good when we found all the, that was a spur of the moment thing.
I'm just saying. Yeah, she's great.
The fairy out there, yes, it was pretty fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, by the way, I know my camera's flickering. I'm gonna look into why that is. But also
hashtag Fox, don't forget y'all.
Yeah, hashtag Fox. Lawrence and I will also be in a place that I'm gonna come up with off the top of my head. There'll be a mouse there of some sorts. Also a little guy that jumps on mushrooms and goes, hee. I'm not sure. What does Mario do?
He jumps on mushrooms.
Well, yeah, but what noise does he make? Anyway, all that to say.
Something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, but we will be doing Good Morning Zyathé from our various locations in Zyathé. And we'll be having a couple special guests on.
Yes.
So anyway.
Very exciting. It's very exciting. And more guests coming, right? So I'm pretty excited about as the summer moves on. Now, of course, we always lose viewership a little bit in the summertime because people are traveling and doing all that stuff. But people watch afterwards too, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. And of course, all building up to Gen Con, which is just a couple months away.
It's 68 days away.
Wow.
I know. I'm not stressed. It's gonna be
not stressed.
Yeah, I know you're not stressed.
Oh, I'm freaking out.
We got this. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and sign off and let our friends go enjoy their Saturday.
My friends, you have a beautiful rest of your. I hope it's pretty day here in Colorado Springs. I hope you all are having a beautiful day. And
do you want to know what I'm doing tonight?
What are you doing?
This is fun. I am going up to Denver with some friends and Adam, and we are going to go see the Colorado Symphony perform the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Wow.
With like they have like a big screen and they play like scenes and they do this for all sorts of things. They do it for like Harry Potter.
Is this only tonight?
No, I think they go for like a few weeks or something.
You need to send Ms. Goo. Oh, but we'll be out of
You're gonna leave. I know.
Maybe I'll go up and pay a scalper. Maybe we'll go tonight. I could grab Ms. Goo and we go tonight. We don't.
I'll send you the link. I bet I can get you tickets on. I'll get you some tickets. So anyway, but let's do that off air. So
yeah, because people don't want to deal. But that sounds magnificent. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
See, cameraman, you always find out about these cool things, and I never get the news.
Okay, well, I will tell you from now on. But like, part of it is just like going and being like involved in your community and stuff.
I guess that's part of it.
Yeah. So just being aware of what's going on. So
cameraman,
But you're a business owner. I get it.
All you do is slave behind the computer every day, typing. Yes, it just wears you down.
I know.
But
I know.
I'm not that worn down yet. I still have rosy cheeks. Do you see that, cameraman?
You are so beautiful.
I don't know about that, but I have rosy cheeks.
You are still live and well. Your heart is doing good.
Oh, yes.
And
did people know about that?
You got 3 decades more.
Did people know about that?
Yeah, you told them last week.
I did tell them.
Yeah.
Everything's good so far, friends. I do have to go see a doc and talk to him about stuff, but nothing weird has happened since. So, But it's fun to get your heart zapped, and it's fun as well.
Oh, wait. Annie says it is tonight only. Oh,
tonight only.
Paul says he wishes to observe the ticket acquisition. Okay, look. Let me see if I can get it. So,
I got to check with Ms. Goo, right?
Oh, so I can't just buy you the tickets?
Because if I just go, we'll call her after we get off air. We can call her.
Okay.
Because if she's got like, oh no, we can't do that because we're doing this, or this, then I'd be in deep trouble.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, but y'all, I'm just gonna, since if anyone's curious, here's the deal. There's a website. It's called TickPix. It's It's legit.
Sounds very dirty, Cameramandy.
But I'm looking at this, and there are only 2 tickets left, and they're $564.
Ooh, Ms. Goo, I'd get in trouble for going. What do you mean? There's only 2 tickets left. Amazingly, just 2.
Wait, Andy says that they got sold out. So like within the time of me talking about this, yep, they did get sold out. Andy, did you buy them? Am I going to see you there tonight,
Grover.
Andy? I know. Anyway,
Andy Grover, I want you to tell the truth. Did you just buy my tickets? He did.
He says no, it wasn't me. Someone
Really?
else watching. We are so pervasive. We are influencers. No, just kidding.
All right, much love, my friends.
Okay.
Have a blessed day. May everything be joyful and wonderful in your life. And if you're going through something, usually the sun rises, my friends. We've had some darkness here, as some of you know, and but all of us have to walk through the hard days as well as the good ones, as best as we can. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for being a part of all this craziness and joining us on these Saturday mornings. Have a great and wonderful rest of your weekend. And we'll, I guess a lot of people are off on Monday too. So enjoy the 3 days. I guess is that it, Cameramandy?
Yeah.
Cameramandy's still looking at the tickets.
I know.
She's trying to figure out who bought them.
Well, I mean, I feel bad because I was like, I can get you tickets. And then I was like, no, I can't.
Oh, no, you can't.
Yeah. So I feel like a failure right now.
All right, let us go. We're going to say, may all your adventures be sticky, my friends. And Cameramandy, you should give me your tickets for tonight.
No. Bye.
Bye.